Hello there and welcome to Superscreen News at 6, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Blessed Omonese. The police authorities have resolved to drag the Senate to court to challenge the untoward action and resolution against the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris. The plan by the police to approach the court came after the angry senators declared Idris as unfit to hold public office. The Commissioner of Police Legal Force Headquarters, David Igbodo, disclosed this to journalists. You will recall the IGP and the National Assembly has not been on the same page since the arrest of Senator Dino Melaye over offences bordering on alleged murder and unlawful possession of firearms, among several others. Igbodo also said the IGP acted in accordance with the law by delegating the DIG to represent him in any official capacity. President Muhammadu Buhari says over 278 convictions of corrupt officials have been secured by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, between 2017 and fourth quarter of 2018. The president, who was represented by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, made the disclosure in a message to the passing out parade of 314 cadets of the EFCC Detective Superintendent Course 7 for 2017-2018, held at the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna. President Buhari said 189 convictions were secured in 2017 and 89, including that of a senior advocate of Nigeria in the fourth quarter of 2018. He congratulated the cadet for successfully completing the 13 months training and admonished them to be courageous in dealing with corrupt officials. Report says some hoodlums have been arrested at the venue of Ekiti APC primary run for attempting to force themselves into the venue and aggressively confronting policemen who manned the gates. One of the suspected hoodlums, who accused the police of being biased after he was denied access into the venue, had on him charm wrapped in a red piece of cloth. The men claimed to be delegates from various wards but did not possess any of the documents required to ease their entry to the main venue from the gates. And still on the World Congress information, some youth in Imo State have protested over the alleged misconduct that occurred during the World Congress of the All Progressive Congress, APC, which took place in the state. The youth took to the street on alleging that some Congress materials had gone missing during the exercise today. They have therefore called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to fix the new date for the World Congress and also ensure that the culprits are brought to book. Away from Imo State to Kaduna, Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has praised the Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission, KADISCOM, for the conduct of today's local government election in the state. The governor will disclose this after voting at Angwa Sariki polling unit in Kaduna North LGA. Said reports reaching him from across the state showed that the polls went on smoothly. Although the governor acknowledged that election had been cancelled in Kura and Jaba local government areas due to security concerns, he said it did not change the fact that the elections were mostly peaceful, as the overwhelming percentage of the state was peaceful. And now to Lagos State. A member of the All Progressive Congress APC in Lagos have been shot dead at the party's local government congress in Agege. The member, identified as Nuruddin Olanose, was allegedly shot at during a fracas that ensued after voting had ended. Report also said two others are in critical condition, while 9 people have been arrested and taken to Area G Police Division in Agege. Graduates of the University of Lagos have been urged to contribute to their quota to national development. This appeal was made at the at the Day 3 of the University of Lagos Convocation Ceremony in Lagos.
The society can only develop if we have a united elite determined to protect the gains of the society. If you look around, all the societies that have sustained their growth, it has happened because of the selfless interest of the elite. One of the dictionaries describes elite as a body of people who are interested in developing the society with the knowledge they have. That is what I want you to be.
The University of Lagos continues to maintain the tradition of producing top quality graduates who are well trained and well equipped to compete favorably with their counterparts here in the nation and at any international space and stage. This elevation puts on you the responsibility to be great ambassador of these universities. It is my earnest prayer that whatever path in life you take, you will excel.
Express joy and equally speak on challenges encountered in achieving success.
When I gained admission in 2012, I was a boy from Royal Christian College. I was not sure of what to expect from University of Lagos, but I was prepared to learn and explore and leave my print. So as regards university, I thank God I made it today. University of Lagos is a community of people from different backgrounds. Safe to say that you will find anything you seek here. Hence, the choice is yours to make. Thank you, moms and dads, for raising soldiers, for instilling in us the right standards and morals that helped us conquer University of Lagos. I thank my parents, lecturers, my classmates, Reynolds, and indeed everyone that helped me get here. To the undergraduates, be inspired, set your priorities right. Whatever comes your way, be flexible, but don't break.
There were challenges, but there was something in me that just told me to keep going. Like, what is at the end is actually what every struggle or anything I'm going through at the moment. So for every time I was about to give up, I just remember that what is at the end is actually more than what is it that I'm experiencing at the moment.
Graduates of the University of Lagos speaking there. And still on education matters, pupils of Stella Maris Private School has visited Superscreen television on an excursion. The students, who came in company of the teachers, were exposed to the operations of the media house, where they were taught the basic communication skills and given a first-hand experience in the process. The report.
These are pupils of Stella Maris Nursery and Primary School. They have come to Superscreen television to get a first-hand exposure to the media house. The pupils, who were received by the head of programs, Annie Ananaba, were taken round to all departments. In the news department, the head of news, Adenike Owoye Ajiboye, taught them the basic communication skills and what it takes to produce a news bulletin.
Hello children.
Hello Auntie.
Alright, it's really beautiful to have you guys here. Of course, this is Superscreen television. I hope you're aware that this is Superscreen television.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, beautiful. Okay, this is the newsroom, and I want to say welcome to Superscreen's newsroom. What do you say?
Thank you, ma'am.
Alright, you are interested in knowing what we do in the broadcast station. Superscreen as a broadcast station, we do what they do basically in all the television station also. So right here in the newsroom, we do what is called a news gathering, production of news. You gather your news from one point to the other, after which, when it moves from the table of the producer, the news producer, it goes straight to the table of the non-linear editor. And from the desk of the non-linear editor, or rather from the producer's table, the desk editor comes there, do the editing, and after the editing, they pass it down to the non-linear editor's desk.
Misconduct in journalism, how do you treat it?
You have what we call the code of ethics, alright? So that is what is supposed to guide an average or practitioners, basically. you should be aware and be conversant with the rules. So once you know the rules, you are expected to do in accordance to it. So when you now do anything contrary, that's why we have the embassy. They are there to regulate. Do you understand? And where we err, we always pay fines. There are fines to be paid. And apart from fines, they sanction us. You know, there are some presenters that will tell you that in the next 6 months or thereabout, you are not to come on air. And that's why even most broadcast stations also, they send practitioners for trainings. Even embassy itself has body organized trainings. And in these trainings, they also bring to the fore some of the areas and the code of conduct for us to get conversant with it.
The pupils were also taken through the technical aspect of production.
The down part of it, I just copy it. So I'm going to paste it there. You will see the way I'm doing it. It's not magic. Like Ctrl-V is what you use to paste. So you paste it. Canon declares main level copy. Do you understand? That's the first one I copied. Because this one, you don't no longer need this one, so I'm throwing this one away too. I'm going to get the top. The commemoration of late Isiaku. So I'm going to paste it too. It's there already. So because it's too big, so this is what's called it already. So I can work it the way I want to work it, but in a way that will conform with our laid down rules. You understand? In this world too, you have rules to follow. Any organization without rules will never grow. You know all these things. If school did not tell you, come in 7 o'clock or 7:30, you choose to come in 9 o'clock. If everybody choose to come in 9 o'clock, then it's no longer, you understand? So there must be a rule or rules that will guide the organization.
Giving me software, it has a lot of functions, whereby you can even use it for same live program, same as that TriCaster. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
But the TriCaster is more efficient and more reliable. So I decided to split the broadcast equipment to enable me work a free workflow. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
In the sense that if I am doing recording, I will still be broadcasting. If I am trying to record a recorded program inside the studio, I will be doing the recording while I will be doing my play out without any interference.
It was a beautiful experience for the pupils as they witnessed the live news broadcast of Superscreen.
Of the chamber, saying he owes them no apology. It says it does not have to appear before the lawmakers, noted that a senior police officer of the rank of Deputy Inspector General or an assistant.
That the tall pole outside is not called pole, it's called the max. On the top of the max, there's an antenna that will transmit the TV show to your TV.
Learn that the full meaning of NBC, National Broadcasting Commission.
NBC is National Broadcasting Commission, and MRC, Master Control Room. And I want to say a big thank you to our head for bringing us to this beautiful excursion.
Majorities of the pupils, they are members of a press club in our school. So we have been looking forward to visiting a television station, and we have chosen a Superscreen at the broadcasting as one of the broadcasting stations to visit. And we thank God that today now the opportunity has finally come.
To expose the children to the world of journalism and broadcasting generally, and so far so good. I believe that from what we have seen and what the members of staff have actually shown us and told us and explained to us, I believe the children have really learned a lot, and even with the teachers that came with them.
Exposure like this is a unique opportunity that will provide pupils of this level with a better understanding to making a good career choice.
It was indeed a great opportunity to host Stella Maris Private School students right in Superscreen Television. Moving on now, the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, Kogi State Chapter, has urged health workers in the state to tread with caution in joining the strike by the National Joint Health Sector Union, JOSUT. Chairman of the chapter, Tijani Gadwin, in a statement said its members were not on strike, while stressing that its members are available for consultations in all the health facilities across the state. Tijani also said that drugs and laboratory investigation, among others, could be outsourced in the interim. According to Tijani, the state government has been very supportive of the health workforce in the state in terms of the rightful remuneration. A Makurdi-based legal practitioner, Matthew Yunsha, has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to declare herdsmen in Benue State as a terrorist group. Yunsha filed an ex-party motion seeking to compel the President and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, to move a court of competent jurisdiction and declare herdsmen operating in Benue State under the name of Mihati Hala Kuta Hori as a terrorist organization. In addition, the plaintiff is seeking the prohibition of all activities of the herdsmen in Benue State that has resulted in the deliberate and intentional killings. Jigawa Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense (NSCDC) says it has arrested 19 persons, including a retired police inspector, for allegedly molesting a 13-year-old child. The Corps spokesman, Adamu Shehu, who disclosed these to journalists, said the suspects were arrested on Thursday in Kiwaya local government area of the state. Shehu said the arrest followed a complaint received by men of the command from the victim's brother-in-law. After the complaint, officers immediately swung into action and started investigating the matter. And in the process, they were able to arrest 19 people, including a retired police inspector. The spokesman said 3 of the suspects have confessed to have committed the crime, while the rest denied it. You're watching Superscreen News at 6. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you business news. Please stay with us. Glad to have you back, and now to the world of business. The federal government is focusing on growth in all facets of the economy for even development of the country. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun made the disclosure while hosting officials of the World Bank who were on a courtesy visit to her office in Abuja. She said government have made economic policy aimed at accelerating employment opportunities and to improve infrastructure across the country. Adeosun also said that government is focusing on power sector, particularly to ease human capacity development in the areas of education and health.
As a percentage of GDP, our government budget size is low for the size of our economy, and that accounts for some of the challenges you see in expenditure on human capitals, actual volume of expenditure on things like education and health. They're a function of the fact that our budget size is far too low, which in turn is a function of the fact that we're not mobilising adequate revenues, particularly domestic revenues in the area of tax. We're working incredibly hard to improve that. We got some very encouraging figures yesterday from the Joint Tax Board that said the number of taxpayers, or the number of, which we measure by the number of TINs, tax identification numbers issued, has now crossed 19 million. When we got in, it was 13. Now there's a long way to go, but we think in 2 years to have an appreciation of close to 50% on the base that we inherited is really commendable. It's the right way to go. That having been said, there are 65 million economically active people, so there's still a long, long way to go, but we certainly are showing intent. We've put the tax and revenue discussion on the front page of narrative. It's not a popular discussion in a country where people are challenged and where people feel that the services that they expect from paying tax are not necessarily there.
The World Bank team was led to the Minister's office by Dr. Patrico Pangano, a World Bank official representing the Republic of Malta, Italy, Portugal, and Albania. The visit is to provide a first-hand impression of challenges faced by the federal and state government in implementing developmental projects as well as ensuring good governance.
Very welcome growth that you are achieving, and to understand how it can be made more inclusive. Because the World Bank works to eradicate poverty and to make growth as inclusive as possible by boosting the income of the bottom 40% of the population. And moreover, of course, this part of this say recovery has to do with the power sector. So we would like to also to understand, say, your views on how the recovery of the power sector is proceeding, and if you have a plan that is being implemented there. And so that's very crucial also for the private sector to thrive. Yesterday we met in Lagos several entrepreneurs, and we saw how vibrant the private sector is in this country. But you cannot have a vibrant private sector without power and without the right business environment, which is something that I believe your policy will.
The World Bank delegation is expected to hold high-level discussions with the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun, and some governors over the bank's projects in the country. Minister for Finance Kemi Adeosun says 14 persons who gave useful tips that led to the recovery of several billions of naira and some millions from some corporate tax evaders have been paid over 439.3 million naira this week. Adeosun said the companies were busted after years of either evading taxes or underpaying government following tips by the whistleblowers in line with the whistleblowers policy of the federal government. The minister also said apart from the changing narrative on tax by government in recent times, the extension of the deadline for the voluntary assets and income declaration scheme, VADES, to June 30, 2018, has been seen far more tips received from the whistleblowers on tax evasion. And still on business, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has directed power firms operating across the country to fix all faulty installations in their various areas of operation in order to avert disaster as the rain season sets in. NERC says it would not accept claims of natural disasters from power firms, adding that appropriate sanction would be applied if any electricity company failed to heed the directive. NERC said the directive is in line with its mandate of ensuring that electricity was produced and consumed in strict observance of the industry health and safety standards. The regulator also advised power users to inform the electricity distribution companies of faulty installations in their respective locations so as to avert electrocution. The federal government says it has invested 260 billion naira in roads across the country in the past 3 years. According to the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, the funds were expended on the road sector between 2015 and 2018. Fashola disclosed this in his keynote address as the 4th Quadrennial Delegates Conference of the Petroleum Tanker Drivers Branch of the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers in Abuja. The minister said that under the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of the federal government, about 300 billion had been committed to Nigerian roads, adding that it is one thing to have a plan and another to commit to the faithful implementation of the plan. We'll take a short break at this point, and when we return, we'll bring you more news. Please stay.